Hey everyone, so I am here to do my final installment of my scene analysis series for The Force Awakens. I'm trying something new where the film will be playing behind me. I'm going to react to it. Hopefully the volume will work out as I comment. Firstly, it's important that given all that we already know, that we take ourselves back to 2015 when it had been a decade since a Star Wars film had came out. And at that time was saying this is a rehash of New Hope, and people are still saying that. But the reason why I really took to the film for a lot of reasons, but I felt gave us some really cool new characters, and there were three key scenes that I felt like really set it apart and set up these characters for a journey themselves, the passing of the baton and all that. So here we go. This is where the fun begins. Oh, Kylo Ren.
We're not done yet. You're a monster. It's just us now. Han Solo can't save you.
What a brat. So, well, I wondered about that immediately. I was like, whose idea was it for it to beat the wound and make it like bleed more, give him adrenaline? And I think I have an answer to that. Blood. Oh.
That lightsaber. It belongs to me.
Come get it. Oh my god. This fight is crazy. So much. Again, I love this beating the wound idea. It's great. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ben is just completely toying with him. Oh my god. Oh, see, everybody's making fun of the crossguard saber, and that really hurts. Ooh. Oh, nice shot. But no. Oh. Nice little symbolism to Empire there. Oh, here we go. Wasn't expecting that. Yes. So good. The swallow music. The classic, like, Force theme. Ah! Oh my god, Ray! Ugh. Wait, they do this wonderful little twirl thing right here. Whoa! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I love this. She like just barely hops out of the way. Some of her moves as a scavenger we saw earlier on the wreckage in the beginning of the film. Oh my god, Ray. So what's interesting here that I always felt like is that he's not... There are a couple blows here that are very, very hard, but nowhere near what the weight and strength he was trying to put on when he was fighting Finn. Here I just feel like he's just trying to like knock her back and kind of corner her, which he does do, but it's like not to really attack as much as he was attacking Finn. Here it's like he's just trying to corner her, which he has now. Oh, and now they're stuck. Okay.
I can show you the ways of the Force.
The Force. Come on, Ray, you know it's there. It's buried deep down. You're afraid of it, but it's there. So use it. And she's going to. Yes. Ugh. Oh, that hurts. Ooh, that's interesting. Nice. Oh no! And now fate has separated them. For now. Literally standing on two sides. Literally. Insert obvious symbolism here. So, okay. Yeah. It's very different now looking back on this with knowing what we know now. So that's why it's like I said at the beginning, really take yourself back to 2015 where we didn't know anything and it had been a decade since Revenge of the Sith, and say what you want about the prequels. I think there's some good ideas in there, but it's horribly executed. And then we have this movie come along. Firstly, I thought it was interesting at the time when I saw it that there was a lot of misdirection with the trailers because they showed Finn with the lightsaber, and then in the end it turns out to be Rey that's the Force sensitive one, which we learn when they do the interrogation scene and she's able to push him out of her mind, which is that's super cool. But the moment in which she summons a lightsaber to her, you're like, holy shit. Like, that's like, you're like, oh, it's her. And like, that's what I love about the look on Kylo Ren's face. It's like, wait, what? But just from start to finish, I love the first thing. It's just like, we're not done yet. It's like being a complete brat. It's like, not even like he's evil at that point. That's the thing for me is I'm far removed from everybody else and their stance on Kylo Ren because I didn't think of him as Kylo Ren even from this film. I always thought of him as Ben Solo from the moment that his father yells out his true name. I'm like, okay, because everything leading up and into The Force Awakens, he's just trying too hard, in my opinion. So some people think he's an incompetent villain. No, he was never meant to be the villain. So it's right along with George Lucas's like what he wanted for the prequel trilogy of like telling the story of Anakin Skywalker. What if the villain was the victim? Same idea here. So just to put it plainly, I never thought of him as the villain. And then in that moment where he's like trying to goad Finn and Rey after he's killed Han, there's nothing you can do. It's just me that's standing in between you guys getting away. So he's taunting them, and I was like, oh my God, he's like beating this wound so it'll bleed more, give him adrenaline. Now, even though I was asking everybody to think of themselves in 2015, if we flash forward to 2019, the New Yorker published an article that was just kind of like a nice story about Adam Driver. And in the story, he's talked about his experience with Marine Corps quite a bit. In that particular article, it was talking about how they did an exercise where they would beat each other's like legs until they were numb just to get you used to like, hey, things are going to be hard when you're training with Marines. I was thinking, I wonder whose idea it was to do the beating of the wound here. And now I'm like, all right, I got my answer with this article. It must have been Adam Driver's idea. And I think that's the other thing with this fight. It's really, really well choreographed. This eloquence to it. There's this great movement, but it's not over the top and it's not so choreographed that it looks fake. The three of them, like Adam and John and Daisy, work super hard to get this right. And I know, I'm sure they had stunt doubles, and for Adam in particular, like he looks like he's out for blood to like get Finn. Does the like fancy twirl, he's like playing with him. He does a couple of moves and then he's like, he just moves out of the way. The one where he does like 2 strikes and he lifts his entire body up into a turn that then he just brings down on him, which is great. So you're getting fancy, but you're also using the power of your body. Okay, that's another big thing that when this came out, everybody's like, how did this guy get beat by like an ex-stormtrooper and this girl that knows nothing? I would just say, and I always thought this when I was watching it, Kylo Ren, he just murdered his father, and as much as he would like to pretend that that doesn't affect him, it does. And he was devastated, and he thought that that would shove him fully into the dark side, but all it did was make him more conflicted. So that's number 1. Number 2, he took a bowcaster shot to the kidney. It's like, okay, I'll just walk it off, blah, blah, blah. No. So, and also then, but in that criticism of saying, oh, he couldn't hold his own, that is not only just not respecting what the character just went through, which I just described, but that is being not thoughtful about Finn and Rey as characters. She grew up like in a scrappy upbringing. She's a scavenger. They deliberately show that she has a little bit of acrobatics to kind of get her away, that she can fight. And then with Finn, you know, I mean, he was a stormtrooper. He had combat training. I just think it's like an unfair criticism of those two characters, but then also Kylo Ren as well. The choreography was also very acknowledging of the characters and who's fighting what and how they're fighting. So initially with Kylo Ren, he's like, it's a little flourish, it's aggressive, so he's being fancy, but he's also, you know, aiming to kill. Then later with Rey, I always fully believed that all he was trying to do was like just kind of corner her, which is what he did because he wants her on his side. And he says, you need a teacher. So I never thought his intent was to strike, kill, anything like that. With Finn, it was to kill. And that's why he does the strike up the back and then the cheap blow to the face. And I was thinking about it, Finn using more movements that are like this and this because he's used to the baton. He used the lightsaber a little bit earlier. If you notice with Rey, she does a lot of jabbing stuff, like because that's what she's more used to with her quarterstaff. And I don't know how conscious this was, but I saw it when I was watching it in that she doesn't really know how to fight with a laser sword, but she's used to a staff. It makes sense for her to jut it forward, or just when you're a person not knowing how to use a sword, you're gonna jab it forward first. Intelligence with which they created this fight choreography and they made it relevant to like the characters, I was like, this is good fight choreography. Thinking about this wonderful moment in which they do the little homage to like the lightsaber being stuck in the snow from Empire, and then Rey's able to summon it. I remember watching this and I'm going, oh my God, it's gonna go to her, and it flies right past him and then goes into her hands. And you're like, this is it. This is setting them up. Coming off of what just happened in the movie, people are like, all right, Kylo Ren's bad. He killed his father. He killed Han Solo. But I was sitting there going, no, I can see the look on his face and I see what the intention there was, is that he is now more conflicted than ever. So going forward with that, I was like, here is a young man almost kind of fully formed in his journey towards the dark side, but not quite. Everybody thinks it's fully formed now because he just tried to shove himself very firmly into the dark side by doing what he did, but it didn't work. The look on his face said it all. And then here's this young woman just starting her journey in the Force on the light side. And then you have this beautiful battle where you have like these two sabers in the snow, in the dark, and it's like the yin and the yang. That's what I got from like them fighting. It's like this setup, the true balance in the Force. Like it could be the two of them. Now I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, as the story goes on, the journey, because in the original trilogy, Vader is full bad. That's the whole point of having him as he is. Luke's on his journey to become in the light and be that kind of dynamic balance of dark and light there, but Vader's already fully formed. What I found inherently fascinating about the symbolism and the imagery in this fight, you have two people who are like not quite there yet, but are on those opposing sides of the Force. I was like, wow, this will be really interesting. And people say this is a rehash of A New Hope, but I'm like, I'm sorry, this makes this very, very different and is setting these characters up for the future. I think it's great. So that is my scene analysis for Force Awakens, and now hopefully I'll be moving on to The Last Jedi.